Hello and welcome to The Red Armchair. This is the first episode of Beneath Willows, Volume 1, The Outlands. Dry trees shifted in the wind like sandpaper. The grass was brown and coarse beneath my feet. A shiver ran down my spine as I crouched behind a large granite rock. The outcropping hid my position. The wind blew, bringing with it the foul stench of a pack. Desolate and dark creatures they were, soulless. Bright yellow-orange eyes flashed in the light of a bonfire as their bodies contorted in dance-like movements. Something burned in their fires. The stench drifted to me on the wind from half a mile away. Sounds of their inhuman howls streaked the night as a few leapt on a pile of carcass, devouring the dripping flesh in their cupped hands. I shivered as sickness rested in my stomach. The creatures had just brought back victims from a hunt. I had watched the entire spectacle unfold in the valley below. It happened in the way I had seen it many times before. The encampment had been empty, but only for a short while. There had only been a short amount of time for me to bring my cart to a safe distance, covering my scent with ratlin musk. Closing my eyes again, I felt for my spell work, testing the binds I had woven in a circle with my will. It had been quick but careful, enough to protect me from being found, unlike the poor souls below who now burned in hot fires. I could hear their screams. Some of them were still alive. A shame. At least the smoke would kill them soon. Aching legs begged me to change my stance, but I did not want to risk betraying my position. The spell work would only hide me from being seen. It was not enough to hide scent or sound. My left hand found my binoculars, and I lifted them to my eyes. There was a commotion on the edge of the camp below. They danced wildly, contorting their bodies in impossible ways. Excitement. Elbows bent backwards and their heads rolled around their shoulders at unnatural angles. In the middle of the dancing horde of demons was a horse? I squinted. No, it was a beast of some kind. It was no natural animal, but neither was it a demon. I could only see its shape, no detail beyond that, but I could hear the sounds it made. It screamed, as though its agony were near unbearable. My stomach wound tighter. I had seen this before, but it was never easy. There was little I could do. No real hope remained for the beast's life, though I must admit I felt something deep within me. I don't know what it was, but it urged me to reach out, like an itch that needed to be scratched. I began to whisper. Levae dan shavique. The words wove in my mind's eye into a spell. My concentration deepened as I set my will to the beast. The heckling demons fell away. There was only the spell work and my will. I was not prepared for what happened next. The spell work seemed to jerk from my concentration as a pain flashed through my mind. It was sudden and quick, but powerful. Letting out a sharp hiss, I stumbled backwards. As quickly as it had come, it vanished. There was nothing for a few moments. Then I realized what I had done. In a snap, fear replaced the pain. I slammed my back against the rock and froze. It was likely the demons had heard me. Deafening moments passed as I wondered if I had betrayed my position to the hellish creatures. I hate to say it, but my fingers found a potion strapped to my waist. Falling victim to the demons would be less painful dead. My heart was a burning sparrow in my chest, thumping as I waited to see if they would find me. A rustle came from the other side of the rock face. All at once, my stomach untwisted and fell to the pit of my abdomen. The rustling grew closer in the silence. There was at least one of them within 5 feet of me. Unbearable moments passed as the creature's claws scraped on dead bark. My fingers tightened on the potion on my belt as I closed my eyes. It would be quick, I knew. I was not afraid of death as much as I was of what would happen if I were found. There seemed to be 1,000 years in those next few moments. More rustling, a twig snapping. There was the sound of low breathing, a deep growl. Hoping against hope, I put my faith in the spellwork surrounding the cart. Perhaps the demon was confused by its magic. Perhaps I could live to see another day. Suddenly, I couldn't hear the creature anymore. Had it gone back to the camp in the valley below? I had been lucky. I should leave now and move far away on my path, through the canyon and beyond to the West Mountains. Something about that sudden pain stopped me, though. It was like a chime in the darkness. My spirit had heard it. There was no doubt that the pain had been a message. Could it be? No, I thought. The beast below is surely just a product of the Outlands, one of the many mutated creatures. Even so, I glanced around the rock again. Something tugging at the back of my mind. I closed my eyes. The opening feeling came to my body easily. My spirit and thoughts. A feeling like floating in the deepest waters. Darkness was around me and my body felt cold, but the warmth from my chest is what floated in that darkness. Contrast is a kind of clarity. It came to me. A light in the darkness, a message. My spirit was ready to receive the message this time. The message held only one feeling: panic. It was a cry for help. A connection like that is undeniable. A pillar in the midst of a flat plain. My head bowed to my chest, and there was no certainty that my life would be safe. I knew this, yet still I sat down, a frustrated determination driving my legs to sit still. Days of travel separated me from my destination to the west. My supplies were running low as it was, but something told me I had to do this. Pulling a black, smooth stone from my front satchel pocket, I clutched it in my hand. Lea mia privi dunva breavin, lea mia vocu impelio fiata, lea mia vocu a inspicia. When the incantation was finished, a low hum resonated in my chest. With it, my eyes fluttered open. I had to be quick. The time had come for a distraction. I pressed the black stone to my chest and pulled from my satchel a white stone. This one I held in my left hand, turning it in my fingers as I neared the bottom of the valley. Lea mia privi dunva brevin, lea mia vocu impelio fiata, lea mia vocu a inspicia. I breathed again. As I neared the camp, I could see the demon's ravenous teeth glinting in the firelight. Their inhuman sounds thickened as I stalked the shadowed places. It was dark beyond the boundaries of their fire, and I moved with the licking of the flames. At the moment, the horde's movements were becoming erratic and heightened at their accomplishment. It was as though their excitement was peaking as they brought the captured beast closer and closer to their fire pit. At this distance, I could finally see the creature. It was black and bird-like, the head and torso of an owl, with the powerful legs of a black panther. The demons took my attention again as they crowded around the beast, prodding it and kicking it as they screeched in excitement. Anger rose in me. One motion, I flung the white orb clear across the camp with my left arm. There was a few moments of silence before blinding white-hot light erupted at the far side of the camp. The reaction of the demons was immediate and frantic. They screamed and wailed, madly scattering before my glinting eyes. In the mayhem, I sprinted towards the beast. I revealed myself, grabbing a chain that hung around its neck. The beast understood my intentions immediately through the connection we somehow held. It looked into my eyes and almost seemed to nod before following my movements. The brightness was absolute in the camp as the panicked creatures crawled in the dirt, trying desperately to find their shelter from the light. Time seemed to slow as I guided the beast away from the stinking fires. We bolted for the area of dead trees and underbrush where my cart was hidden behind the large rock outcropping. Moving quickly together, our movements became one in the darkness. Now that I was close to the bird-like creature, I could see blood trickling from the gashes along the beast's flank. The beast's movements became ragged as we moved along the rocks, stumbling a few times before reaching the circle. Panting, I came to a halt and sank to my knees, focusing all of my energy now on the circle around my cart. As the other enchantments faded, I felt the circle around us strengthen. My fingers sank into the sand in front of me, my spirit flowed into the spellwork, and my breathing deepened. I pushed every part of my will into the weavings of the spellwork. Only when I was sure of my work did I open my eyes. The beast stood, rigid, behind me, his eyes darting around the circle at the black demons that had begun to run past, no doubt on the trail of our escape. Time sped as we both watched the black shapes skitter past, a mess of contorted limbs and rabid smiles through the boundaries of the circle. Slowly, the pack running past us thinned, and my muscles unwound. I dared to take a few breaths. Dumb luck. Breathing a sigh of relief, I pushed myself up using my left arm to steady myself. I turned facing the beast. His movements seemed to drip with residual panic. I don't blame you, I thought, as I studied him. He was a large, muscular being, rippling with power. The head and neck of a black forest owl, 4 legs of a cat-like panther, and a feathered tail. One massive wing sat next to a crippled nub. There was only one wing. He was massive, a good 2 feet taller than me. The beast eyed me, and I found trust there. I hesitated for a moment, my fingers touching my right side, hidden beneath my woolen cape. Steadily I pulled at a carefully tied knot at my right shoulder. The beast looked on me with old eyes. The leather strap, tying back my useless upper limb, came loose as I pulled, and allowed the limb to relax at my side. My black feathers brushed the sand at my feet as the muscles uncoiled. Tension left my limb as the feathers twitched in the cool desert air. Before that moment, I had never revealed myself to another being. The action made me feel the deep emotions I had buried long ago. The beast looked at me. I will never forget the look in his infinite eyes. Knowing, understanding, trust. I pulled the rusted and blood-covered chains from his feathered neck, and we stood facing each other, our forms like a mirror bound in fate. Midnight pulled the stars into the skies around the desert landscape. Blackness stretched beyond the vaguely pink outcroppings. Heckling yowls bounced off the canyon walls in the distance and made the silence that came after deafening. Only faint wisps of sand could be heard after the demon's sinister calls echoed for the last time that night. This has been episode 1 of the Beneath Willows story, volume 1, The Outlands. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment below. Thanks for listening. Good night.